evening. We'll bring the Building Facilities Construction Committee meeting of Wednesday, October 25th, 2017 to order, and the time is 7:05. First item on the agenda, municipal building and primary school roof capital projects. Bill?
The first item is the budget. I put a spreadsheet summary in your packet.
Yep.
That shows you where we're at financially. We did return the $21,000 remaining from the school roof project to the, I think it goes into, not the general fund, but the
Capital?
free cash
Yep.
account. And would have to get reappropriated at town meeting if it's going to get used. And with regard to the municipal building project, we've got about a balance of about $27,000 remaining in the budget. We did have some conversations regarding the window treatments, the shades, but the administrator and the town accountant determined that it's beyond the scope of the original article, so
So how do they plan on solving that problem if that's the case?
we're at 'em.
So it's gonna come out of my budget, and they're gonna, Gene said if, it's gonna be hard, but we'll have to, if I run out of funds towards the end, they'll go back to FinCom.
Yeah, because you obviously have to have.
It's gonna be
some-
like, yeah, it's gonna be like 6,000 for these windows and 2 for the resource room.
Cool.
So I'm just gonna do them all the same, so that's what we ended up determining, that we need them, so.
Sure.
It has to happen either way, so then Gene's solution with discussion with Bill and myself and Matt was that they would return funds if needed through FinCom at the end of my
Yep.
budget season.
Sure.
It's just gonna take a little longer.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
I thought there was a good, sound, logical argument to be made for it being part of the project, but
I did too, Bill, I'm sorry.
but the thing is, you know, you gotta pick your battles, and
Yeah,
this was not
absolutely,
worth
no, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
worth it, you're right. Yeah, whatever makes everybody happy.
it. So, now, furthermore, the project's essentially done. The
Yeah.
Windows.
Looking good.
In your packet is George's punch list.
Yep.
And George has indicated that the remaining punch list items is within the $5,000 retainage. He's in the process of submitting the first pay rec for Verica for the windows, and that retainage should cover the remaining scope. So we'll get 2 pay recs as a result. The first one's going to be for the lion's share of the project. 5% is going to be withheld until we get those minor defects
Right.
resolved.
Okay. Okay, any questions, anybody? Okay. Next item, municipal fire alarm. Bill and Adam?
Yeah, I'll let Adam address this, since he did the work on it.
So I approached Simplex, like we discussed in our last meeting. They gave me the name of the company they're using. I had no luck getting in touch with them. Then found out through another contact that Simplex has had a changeover in management, and I think someone else has purchased them at this time. So there's a lot up in the air. So the contact didn't get back to me. I did approach GGD, who we discussed.
Right.
And talking with Ben, who we had worked with before, he said he had absolutely no concerns with going through them. He would love to have the opportunity for their company to be the lead on the fire alarm system. He also stated that he actually in the beginning was supposed to be the lead when we first discussed it way back. And he was fine with it, and they're the lead on a lot of projects. They do all the bid documents, they do everything. So he is 100% for it. They got back to me in a short period of time with the estimate, which we all have here, and I actually, for $6,400, plus, whatever, any extra services are listed in the bottom, which I'm not sure what GRLA's was, I can't remember, but I know it was, I think, 15,000.
Yeah, I think it was six.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have it, but,
I think you're right.
so, I didn't have a second option to go to, but I did get GGD to come in, and it's up to the board how they want to proceed.
So again, the board would make a recommendation to authorize or recommend to the town administrator to proceed in a particular direction. I think at this point, Adam and I would agree that we recommend the GGD proposal and proceeding in that fashion.
Seems to be
Questions,
logical.
anybody?
No?
Mike?
You're planning this for the spring?
Yes.
Adam? When's the 9th edition go into effect?
That I don't know, and I did,
Because
I did ask
you
him that.
noted on the 8th, I think it's January maybe.
Okay.
You may want to just check that,
Sure.
so you don't have to go back. That's just on the building code.
Right.
It's suggested for the 8th edition. I think the 9th is going to be out by the time he's going to go out.
And I will contact them and discuss that with them, because I
Just
didn't,
to save you some aggravation.
yeah, absolutely, because I'm sure they weren't sure when we were gonna go out, and
Yep.
so we definitely would wanna do that.
Anybody else? Question?
I looked at
Rebecca?
it, I read this, and I thought it looked good. I think it will save us money rather than using an architect and this consultant, and then a contractor as well. But my only concern was that they are not local. They're in Dartmouth, Mass, and their proposal didn't include a lot of site visits or meetings with the town. It only included 3 at 35, 75, and 100% construction. So then, when the punch list happened, then there wouldn't be, the punch is supposed to be done at 100, then there would need to be another visit after that to check and make sure that all that stuff was done. So I'm thinking that there would probably need to be at least 1, if not 2, extra site visits, and they're billing those out at 500 a visit, and they are kind of far away. And then I think it's also said that contractor assistance was over the phone, and it's not weekly project, there's no weekly project meeting visit. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was good, but,
You have some
500,
concerns?
yeah, 500 a pop, if we had, more than 1 or 2, that would add up really quickly. And they're in Dartmouth, so it's not like they're probably gonna move that much on that number, because it's far away.
Right. Comments, questions? Yes.
Got a
Mike.
question. There was some discussion about the IT guy and the wiring going through. Did you explore to see if possibility of piggybacking with the fire alarm people to pull those wires through? Because I
So-
guess Larry had some concerns about them being properly secured or whatnot.
Yeah, the only discussion I had with Matt, and we just did discuss with Scott a little bit of it, but he's been overwhelmed with the police department
Yeah.
phone thing that they're doing right now, and he's only here like 1 day a week. But we did have a little bit of discussion with it, and he did like the idea, but we had to explore it further, from there, but that was all as far as
Yeah,
it
you
went.
just keep bringing it up.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Make a
Yeah.
decision whichever way you're going.
Yeah.
so.
Do you have concerns around what Rebecca just said, Adam?
I mean, I do agree, since in the point on with what happened with George, with the extra money at the end, I'd rather have as much upfront and knowledge as much upfront as possible. And any
Absolutely.
money comes out of the project. I do feel a lot of this is not as hard as what we've already been through. This is just, like you said, running some wires in certain areas, so I understand, not having weekly visits, but 3 probably might not be enough. We may have to have 4 or 5. But again, I'm not sure, this is new to me with this whole project, especially with them moving the panel up to here, or what their recommendation will be. It's kind of more of, if we go with them, we'd have to probably sit down and say, okay, how is this working? Are we keeping it down there? What their recommendations would be? That may change a little bit of things too.
Mike?
Something else you may want to ask about is, because of George's preparation building that he had for these, even though we have a $500 meeting visit, but then there's 4 hours or 7 hours of preparing his notes to put back to us, just so we know what the costs are up front, so we're not
Yeah, exactly.
doing all these change orders like we were
Well,
last time.
and can we have as part of the contract that the price is the price, that they don't get to suddenly say, oh, we had to prepare these
That's kinda
documents?
hard- Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
that's
Mike.
kind of hard to do because there's unforeseen circumstances. You can't really nail it down 100%.
Preparation
You
of
have to have
documents?
some open-ended things in there.
Bill?
Yeah, there's always, with these professional service contracts, they always give you what their estimate is what you see up above, and then they give you the hourly rates, because inevitably, any project's gonna have little bumps in the road, and you're gonna have to account for that hourly.
I understand that, but I don't want to have the kind of bump in the road we've had before. I think we should try to be a little clear about what it is we're going to be spending.
Mike, you have a comment?
Just as a suggestion, maybe they discuss it with us before they actually do it. Like, and George has billed us after the fact, which is, contract clearly states that he's supposed to get approval before he does that. And we keep paying
Yeah.
these bills, so if we know ahead of time, at least you can make a educated choice as to whether or not you want to proceed in that
Yeah.
direction.
And I think considering that we already know that we have to install IT wiring and upgrade some of the stuff, that should be listed under part of the project so that they, so that they know what the scope is and they can give us an estimate for the services that is more realistic maybe.
Ginger?
I agree with you, and I think if we tighten some stuff up, that will make a big difference. We won't get quite so many surprises.
Anyone? So you will be working on this and bringing it to us, or you're looking for an okay from us
Yeah,
as a recommendation?
It sounds like we have time to go back and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
have
absolutely.
some conversations on it.
Okay. Good.
But just expect that the fee will likely go up, because what I'm hearing is additional communication with the board at multiple points throughout the process. So that's what I'm hearing, and that's going to translate into more dollars.
Right.
Okay.
Mike?
Yeah, and the only reason I bring up what I bring up is we started off with the last services at 65 and ended up at 128 or whatever. So basically doubled it. So I'd like to try to prevent that. It's going to go up,
Right,
but not double it.
right, right.
And what about getting 2 other quotes so that we have 3 to look at? And I mean, I think that some of I think the site visit, that they expect $500 for a site visit. If we found, if we got a quote from another engineering company that was maybe closer, that number might be different.
Bill, do you want to comment on that?
Well, I mean,
It might be an hour, a per hour thing if they were within,
I'm
Worcester
certainly,
County.
I am
Worcester
certainly
County.
open to that concept. My only comment would be that the multiple projects we've done in the community over the past 15 years, everyone's used GGD. So, I mean, I see a trend, and I'm talking about different architects. So I see the trend in everyone using this particular firm. I'm certainly happy to solicit more proposals from other firms. Who they might be, I'm not sure
I'll
about.
tell you a trade secret. Architects usually go with the cheapest engineer that they can find because they mark up, they mark up the services.
And also, on
Yeah.
my aspect of it, I look at, they already have our plans. They've done this. This was already done. So we go to someone else outside of this, now they're starting over. Where at least GGD has our plans. They've done a lot of the groundwork, ahead of time, because they were working, between them and GRLA.
And you've had good results.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Mike, did you have another question or comment?
Yep, question and a comment. Typically on a site visit, which one of these would they send out?
It depends.
Well, they wouldn't
If
send
it's
out
a typical
They wouldn't
inspection,
send out any
this-
one of the bottom 3.
They probably wouldn't send, they might send out engineer.
engineer.
Most regularly, I would think.
So, on that, you're gonna get a 4-hour minimum anyways on billing, so you're gonna be pretty close to the 500. I would be more comfortable with a fixed site visit
Yeah.
than an hourly thing, because they could come out and spend 4 or 5 hours there. If you're running into multiple problems, you have a building built in 1922 with an addition from 1950, whatever it is. Who knows what went on when you start doing all these things?
Right.
Somebody could spend the entire day out here, and you could end up spending a lot more than the 500.
Okay. So consensus is that we ask Adam and Bill to proceed and come back with some of the issues that we brought up, and we'll discuss it again.
Yes.
Thanks for the info. Okay. Item 3, municipal gymnasium windows. Again, Bill and
Again, Adam.
So, Modern Manufacturing got back to me right at 3:15 today. Your copy actually has the wrong date on it. They got back to me within like an hour later, realizing they still left the August 20th, 2014 date on it.
Yeah.
And so I did forward that to Bill, but I know it was late at that point. Basically, the prices didn't change. I looked at that, and we'd have to just go through, but this is including asbestos abatement, so it'd be like around, I'd have to add it up. I wrote it down on my other one. I think it was like
56,000. something.
Yeah, $55,550 total would be them doing the work. Now, a couple things that do kick out a little bit are the, all painting and touch-ups are to be done by others, little things like that, but that doesn't, it's a brick building.
Sure.
That's nothing, it's not like these windows where it's an office, that's a gymnasium. But I mean, overall, this
Are
is.
you sure you want to say that? Because that means you'll be doing it.
That's all right. Believe me, I do a lot,
Okay.
that's all right. That's not a
let
problem.
Adam finish, please.
Basically, but I mean, they were the lowest bidder on our windows. I actually didn't think I was getting this back. They asked me what went wrong with the first one. I explained to them, I had to ask Bill exactly what they left out. They were pretty upset over it, I mean, we all were because it was, what, $30,000 cheaper? So, I mean, I understand they were upset they didn't get the job, but they did. They got back to me and professionally and
Yeah.
in time, so just in time for this meeting anyway.
Okay. Questions?
So I have a question, Adam. They give us an estimated cost for asbestos abatement if it's found to have asbestos.
Correct.
Does this presume that they're managing a subcontractor within their scope?
They have in-house asbestos abatement.
Okay.
He told me when he was on site that day.
Okay.
Anyone else? Mike? Yeah?
They have in-house abatement, and they also have the in-house testing.
Yes. Everything was in-house, he told me.
Engineer.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons he said that his prices are cheaper. Everything's in-house because they do so much of it that it's easier for them to do it.
Okay, yeah, Counselor?
How comfortable are they with that estimated cost?
Well, I usually used to talk to the owner, which is the one whose signature's on here, but the one who emailed me wasn't the owner. He was gone for like 3 weeks on a project that he was overseeing himself. So I'm not sure. I emailed him twice to get this back, and he finally gave it to this guy to get back to me. So like I said, I haven't been able to speak to him to figure out exactly, and make sure they're comfortable with this. But I've heard good things from him. I don't know him personally, just from word of mouth. I've heard, good things. I don't know what the projects they're doing. I mean, he's told me he's done large projects, but it doesn't, I'd have to research him a lot more to know, to be comfortable. But I mean, I know this will be lower than anyone. If we talk about, I don't even know how the threshold works. I think it was 50,000. But then you have to hire an engineer at some point. Well, then we got George's for, was that $20,000?
Yeah.
So now we're up another 20, and then we go out to bid, so now,
Right.
it just keeps going up and up and
And it
up.
drags
so-
it out, and that
Yeah,
costs more.
so I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm for whatever the board's for is, and we should research them and definitely find out more about their company and make sure that they're highly recommended from other people. But again, we can't go forward with just one, so we're over the threshold anyway. So-
Any more questions, comments?
Oh, I think he needs to get the answers.
Okay, Mike?
Mud manufacturing, I'm not that knowledgeable about their business, but they've been around for a long time. Is this something that Adam has to go to town meeting to get approved?
We have to go through capital
Yeah.
first to get the money.
Yeah.
to get that approval first, because all we had was, I was given just
The-
10,000 for engineering, so
Right.
it would have to go through capital, and then it'd be part of a capital project through town meeting.
Yes, go ahead.
The 10,000 been expended yet?
No.
Yeah.
Would it make sense to get an assessment of the asbestos so you can go have a proper number when you go, so we're not doing it like?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Did the last number
Yeah.
on the windows and the fire alarm and
Yeah, oh, yeah.
everything else that you go up and ask for more money and then. you
Every
find out
time,
you don't
3
have
different
enough?
times, yeah.
But
Good
if
point,
you have a
yes.
couple pennies in there and you can get the assessment done, it may make sense.
Yeah,
Okay, so you'll,
yeah, we can definitely.
We would have to run that by Gene, you know, the perfect
Oh,
example is the
right.
window treatment, so.
Yeah,
the-
exactly,
The
because it wasn't.
scope of the original allocation
okay,
wasn't intended for that. You know, we'll have to talk to her,
Yeah.
make sure.
Hopefully she'll agree.
Well, is it,
yeah, go ahead.
the money's for engineering, right? So the assessment would be done by an environmental engineer.
Okay.
Well, hey, I'm
Yeah,
just putting it
it's a
out
good
there.
point.
If you want to split hairs, that's.
You can
Right.
double check
It
with
is what
her,
it is,
but sounds good to me.
That's, it's gonna be an environmental engineer that assesses it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be coming back to us with that information. Okay, anyone else? Questions, comments? Bill, comment, you're
No,
good?
That's good.
Okay. All right, item 4, green energy. Bill?
Oh, a lot's been going on. As you may recall, in February of this year, the governor's office came out and awarded, the town entered into an agreement with the Commonwealth under what's called a Community Compact Cabinet Agreement. And the town received some funds, and in consideration of that, we committed to moving forward with certain things, with monetary assistance. One of those things was the Green Communities Act and work towards adopting it.
Right.
So we've been working with CMRPC over the last number of months in working off the 5 criteria within the Green Communities Act and trying to check them all off. Only, not this past Monday, but the prior Monday, we received a draft energy reduction plan which addressed, I believe, criteria 3 of the 5 criteria. And I think I emailed it out to everyone at that time. That had a lot of things that were not practical in it, so we've been kind of retooling that. Matt and the selectmen and I have been working on that with CMRPC to kind of change some of the scope items as well as DOER. And last night, the selectmen felt comfortable enough that they had a version of the draft plan that they adopted as the town's energy reduction plan. So that still has to go to the school department for their recommendation. We're working towards a grant deadline of the 31st of this month. So we only got it last Monday. We've been kind of going crazy with this thing, and the Board of Selectmen had a special meeting. The school committee may have a special meeting to try and get these things adopted and recommended in order to comply with those criteria so we qualify for the grant. So the selectmen adopted the energy reduction plan as well as a fuel efficient vehicle plan, which I did email as part of the agenda to everyone. The school committee has yet to do those things. We expect they'll try to have a special meeting this week or early next week. In addition to that, I've been working with town council in satisfying criterias 1 and 2, which are by right zoning for green facilities and expedited permitting areas within the town. So we had a draft letter from town council. We had a conversation, Larry Lynch, the building commissioner, myself, and town council. Larry's got to prepare a letter, and it's got to go back and forth a little bit with town council, but we're confident we can meet the grant deadline in getting a town council letter to DOER before the end of the month. So we are in a position at this point where we're pretty close to getting those 5 criteria satisfied. We've already adopted the stretch energy code, so we're well on our way. Once we do, we get a designation grant. So we make our application to the DOER. DOER reviews our 5 criteria with their guidance and their standards, and assuming we meet the criteria, we could get a grant of up to $250,000. And that would be obviously applied towards building improvements or energy efficiency within the town. And then the next 5 years, we would have access to grant funds too.
Sure.
So we're well on our way. We've been working like crazy to try and get that
Sounds
done.
like you've been busy.
Yeah.
Is there a plan of what we would do with that money?
Yeah, the LED lighting is kind of the top of the list. We could save probably around $40,000 a year, we're guessing at this
Then the
point.
streetlights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the quality of the lighting would be improved too. So,
Anyone else question about this?
Would it go towards our windows?
no, not for projects that are already approved and completed.
Did we approve it?
We didn't approve anything yet.
No, we
as far as
approved
Maybe the blinds,
Fines, I was just gonna say that.
How about the gym?
that could qualify.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
no, we
That's what I
might
was.
want to, wait,
It's a,
are
you
the
know,
windows leaking? Like, are they cloudy? What's the?
The gym windows?
Yeah.
The
There's
original.
cold air
There's
coming,
draft
there's
coming
single
in.
pane, there's
Feel the breeze.
a waste, a waste.
Single pane is right.
Yeah, really cold, yeah.
So, I mean, I know there's 2 schools of thought on the whole green thing, you know, people that support it tremendously and people that don't support it. And the good thing about it is we're going to get some cash flow into the town
Yes.
as a result of adopting these plans.
Absolutely.
So that's where we're at.
Okay. So you'll keep us posted?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments from Bill? Okay. North Street wall repair.
That project's done.
Aha.
It's just billing that needs to get done. I did put a little chart in your packet that talks about what the contract amounts were. We did get a credit of nearly $5,000 on the construction end, and we're waiting to get the final approved pay rec for the construction and the final invoices for the engineering. But that gives you a snapshot of where we're at currently.
Questions?
Happy
Comments?
people. That's what.
All right.
Did nobody like the detour?
No.
Especially the people living on Cook Street.
I didn't expect it to be finished so soon.
I know.
Yeah,
That was good,
yeah. Barry does a good job. He did South Street too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because people driving are like, it looks the same. What's the difference? And
Right.
it's
What's
like,
this little pavement
yeah.
patch?
You're right, yeah.
It's not gonna collapse. That's
Yeah, that's a big difference. You can't see any of the
There are-
supports for the bridge.
There
when
are
you're driving
photos on
over
the
it
town
road.
front page website,
Oh,
so
okay.
if you want to see them.
Did everybody have a chance to read their minutes? I couldn't pull them up. I don't
Oh.
know why. But,
Well, if you want to, put it on the next one, that's
no,
fine.
we can, if you give us a few minutes. Just as a point of clarification, Bill, in the minutes, I know there was some discussion we had about replacing all the lighting, and town administrator felt it would make more sense to take ownership of the fixtures. Is
Yes.
that where we're?
That's currently where we're at. Matt has some experience in Tiverton with the town taking over the actual operation of the fixtures, and that, of course, would likely be something that's subbed out by the town, so we'd have an annual contract for a contractor to come in and maintain them.
Right.
And it would be much less expensive than National Grid doing so.
Okay. Everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Are there any errors, omissions? And if not, I would...
The only thing is Verika's spelling is not with a C, it's with a K.
Ah. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve as corrected.
So moved.
Linda Brown moved.
Second.
Mike second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Thank you.
Bill, I have a question on page 2, municipal gym windows. And I had mentioned about bricking up the windows, and Adam had said the lighting in the gym is not very powerful. And you just mentioned LED lighting will be better for the street lights. Is that something that could be looked into, seeing as the gym lighting is not very powerful? Maybe we could get better lighting as part of that grant?
We could certainly look at it.
Because that would, and probably cut down the electric bill. If that's an old system there,
Yeah, I know, that's kind of like a hodgepodge of
Yeah.
leftover lights from the old
Haven't been
school,
in
and
there in years.
they wired those in with some regular, yeah, it's kind of like a mix.
Mickey Mouse.
It's unique,
Mickey Mouse.
custom, custom,
It's funky.
custom lighting,
But still, if we can put better bulbs in that,
yes.
you know,
Won't
Yes.
hurt anything.
a socket's a socket. All right.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Anybody have anything they'd like to bring up before we, Mike?
Yep. Any feedback on the painting of the library windows?
I did bring that up with both library director and the town administrator, and I did so verbally, I didn't put it in an email, the day after our last meeting. And they happened to be both in the office, and so I mentioned it both to them. I did intend on sending them something, but I didn't get around to it. So they're aware of it, they know, I mean, that's the best I can tell you, is I'm communicating it with those people that
So they didn't give you any response?
they took it under advisement, basically. No, they didn't.
And so you're going to follow up with them?
I will send an email to formalize it, yeah.
I would prefer that instead of a verbal.
Yeah,
Just
Because it's-
follow a
it's-
trail?
yeah, yeah.
Anything else, anyone? We have upcoming meetings of November 15th, 2017, and December 20th. Other than that, if there's no further business, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Linda and Mike again. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. We are adjourning at 7:37.
Still on.
I know the